I'm Dr.Gerald Deas. Welcome to Health Center from Downstate Medical Center. Today we're going to talk about a very important gland. You know, we have all kinds of glands in our body, but men have a particular gland that looks like it's giving us a little trouble at this time and so forth. And it's the prostate gland. The prostate gland. I didn't say prostrate. I said prostate. You know, a lot of times we go to church, you sing that song, "All hail the power of Jesus' name, let angels prostrate fall, bring forth the royal diadem and crown him all in all." Angels don't have prostates. They have prostrate, meaning falling out in front of God and things like this. And so, just to get that pronunciation, Moms Maverly brought that out about a prostate and what it's all about. It's a gland that sits right at the base of the bladder, and of course the tube that runs through there goes right into the penis, of course, and that's where you urinate. And of course, if that gland in any way swells or gives you difficulty, you will tell from the way you urinate, whether you have to go frequently, get up at night, or all the other things that might give you a situation where you can't go out and enjoy yourself because you don't know when you might want to go to urinate. Well, this is really an embarrassment oftentimes with men, elderly men, and it really mostly elderly men has this condition, but they're finding, of course, that younger men have it also. But it's important that you feel comfortable when you go out, that you don't have to go to the men's room in the middle of a performance or anything like that. And so, therefore, people are taking medications now to decrease the size of that prostate gland and look at other things that will prevent any, what they call prostatitis. You know, I wrote an article not too long ago called "Don't Rush with the Flush," and it's based upon when you sit on a toilet and you move your bowels and you flush while sitting, the bacteria from all those germs that lands in the toilet comes up and hits your lower part of your body. And with the male particularly, he has to be careful about that, because with his penis itself down in the toilet, oftentimes and sitting down like that, those bacteria comes right up, hits into his penis itself and into the prostate gland, which can cause prostatitis, which means inflammation of the prostate, and then up to the kidneys and things like this. So whatever you do, don't flush. Don't rush to flush. You get up after you move your bowels, close the toilet seat, and you can prevent maybe some of that kind of condition. Anyhow, we have Kevin Byrd here today, who's made it his interest to get around the country to bring all these kind of things up to men about the prostate gland, because seemingly African American men have been plagued by this now, and for what reason we don't know. A diet could be. Is there a difference between males in Africa with prostate problems and males with America? Might be. But these are the things we want to look into. In the sense, though, America is the place where we're going to concentrate on today. So I want to welcome you, Kevin, to Byrd, to our program here, and all the good things you've been doing through the years in advertising. You know, going out advertising health issues is not an easy thing to do, but we know churches are the place where we have to really sit it at, you know, and so maybe we'll get into now what you've been doing and awards you have received and what kind of things you're doing now to get around the country to talk to black men.
Well, first of all, Dr. Deas, it's a pleasure to be on your show.
Sure.
And my name is Kevin Byrd, of course.
Sure.
And my advocacy has been prostate cancer for the past 10 years now.
Okay.
And I started a non-for-profit about 2003 called the BrownByrd Prostate Cancer Foundation in honor of my grandfather. His name was C.J. Thomas, who died of prostate cancer back in 2003.
All right.
And I didn't know what prostate cancer was at the time.
Yeah.
So, you know, I was in college. I was in my last year of college. And I was like, well, what's prostate cancer? And then when he was diagnosed, and then he didn't live long, after he died, I decided to get more information about this deadly insidious disease.
Right, sure.
And I wrote a film called The Last Days.
Okay.
And it highlighted the awareness of a young man by the name of Michael who was diagnosed with this insidious disease. And I used The Last Days as mechanism to really get the awareness out to the people in the community at large. First, I started very small in my community. We had a screening at the Spike Lee Screening Theater at Long Island University.
I see.
The Last Days was premiered there.
I see.
And then after that, I decided to do more with my outreach with prostate cancer. I decided to even start an off-Broadway one-man show that I started, and it's called Release. And this show, Release, I wrote, produced, and starred as the lead actor, and one of the characters in my show has been diagnosed with prostate cancer.
I see.
And so with the filming of The Last Days and the one-man show, Release, and of course the brochures and all the vital information that we talked about, that you just talked about prostate cancer, is shared every time I'm out in the community. And when I'm doing an off-Broadway one-man show, I'm always able to give literature and be able to just really let people know that this is a silent killing disease, but we have to do something more about this disease in reference to spreading the awareness and getting more men tested for prostate cancer.
Right.
So that's why I'm here, to really enforce the importance of this insidious disease, getting men out there, getting them tested, letting them know this is a deadly disease. This is the second leading cause of death among all men in the country, and the leading cause of death for all African American men in the United States of America.
Right. Now, trying to hit the black population, you can do it, of course, in black newspapers, magazines, radio, and things like this.
Sure.
But the greatest concentration of black folks is Sunday morning.
Yes.
That's in the church.
Yes.
And I have a whole thing that I did called Balm and Gilead Health Lines, where I produced a piece, and I sent 4 pieces to each church each month, which they duplicated and put into their folders on Sunday morning. And then they had a young person on the pulpit during the religious activities, not at the end or even at the beginning, but when everybody's settled in, to be able to talk maybe a few minutes about this. And I think if our churches are losing it, our black men, because black men you can't speak to them in other places where you have the concentration.
You know, you're right about that. And what I decided to do, in reference to my initiative efforts in fighting prostate cancer, I started a whole new day for prostate cancer. And February the 2nd is known and has been proclaimed as International Prostate Cancer Awareness Observance Day. It's a day that I started in honor of my foundation's work, and it's a day that we remember the men who've died of prostate cancer.
Oh, sure.
Yes, and we also help aid support to those family members who've lost loved ones to this disease.
That's right.
And so this day that I started was back in 2009, February the 2nd, 2009. I started it in my kitchen. I had a thought, I was back and forth with doing the off-Broadway show, and doing the screening for The Last Days, and just doing my humanitarian outreach work, period, in reference to speaking engagements throughout the country. And I said, well, what can we really do to make an impact on our community for this disease? And so I decided to start a whole new day for prostate cancer. I was in my kitchen. I said, and God just gave it to me, because we're a not-for-profit, Christian not-for-profit, by the way. We spread the love of Jesus Christ. So God just gave me the heart to say, let's start a whole new day for prostate cancer. And then I did that.
But when I was mentioning that term prostrate, and that is a part of our Christian hymns.
Oh yes.
And a lot of people, believe it or not, they think when you say prostrate, you're talking about prostate. And so if you clear that up in their mind, and that's how you can hit the churches, because the National Baptist Convention has thousands in Brooklyn. We have 1,000 churches in Brooklyn alone, black churches, from storefronts to cathedrals. Now, that alone could keep you busy for the rest of your life. Of going into those different churches, right from the storefront to the cathedrals. But it has to be done in time. It can't be done as a volunteer thing, that will you come after service, we'll have some refreshments, and we'll test your prostate or what have you, or talk about your prostate. It has to be done, even if it's 5 minutes. People get things really close if you talk the right stuff. And so I think that you're doing the right thing to going into the churches.
Well, I did my first tour with Rabbi Ed Weinsberg and Dr. Rob Carey. He's a famous urologist. And Dr. Rabbi Ed Weinsberg, he has a book called How to Conquer Prostate Cancer. It was on Amazon bestseller. And what we did in 2009, we did a national tour together. And we went to different synagogues, churches, and different churches and synagogues and different places that allowed us to have a platform opened up for us to talk about prostate cancer.
Right, sure.
And so after the tour, I was really blessed to see a lot of men getting the information that they needed, and not just in the black community, but all nationalities that we were able to touch upon. And USA Today,
right, sure.
And Good Morning America, they all picked up the tour that I was doing, and they got a lot of national, international acclaim.
Right.
And I was blessed enough to have the Prostate Cancer Awareness Observance Day, February 2nd, 2013, Niagara Falls.
I see.
Lit up the falls in my honor.
All right.
In reference to the falls being lit up in blue, because the national color for prostate cancer is blue. For those who don't know that, it's blue. And I wear blue a lot. But Niagara Falls lit up in my foundation's honor last year.
Well, I looked at they have such a thing now, of course, blood tests now, with PSAs and things like this. And we're trying to see right now in medicine to be too aggressive. See, a lot of men, particularly black males, when you have to do a rectal examination, that kind of throws them off.
Discomfort.
Yes. And so you have to be aware of these kind of things to make it as easy as possible when they can have this kind of exam, because nobody runs to get something that's going to be put into their penis or put into their rectum. So this is kind of not a cultural thing. It's a thing, the manhood type of thing, about these kind of things. So we have to melt that down, to let them know, well, there's other tests we can do, and including that, certain, like the blood tests and so forth,
PSAs.
And because you don't want to frighten people.
Right.
And people don't frighten about health. Most people say, if I'm all right, let me be all right,
Right.
Not realizing that something is brewing inside, whether it's glaucoma or any number of diseases that we can detect early. So detection early is very important.
Early detection is very important.
Sure.
It's key. And again, I always go back to when I'm out, I always talk about living smart and living healthy.
Right.
It's all about living healthy and smart.
That's right.
And I always have a representative with me with the American Cancer Society,
right,
who is always on hand with me when we do our presentations and our screenings.
Right.
But living healthy and living smart and taking care, and like I said, a lot of people don't know guidelines for early detection of cancer.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
All these brochures are so important and vital, because it helps us to find ways and how we can live longer and healthier and smarter and wiser.
Oh, sure. Well, I know that like I said, Moms Waverly addressed that in a kind of a comic way, is saying it's prostate for him, Hymn, and prostrate for Hymn, and prostate for HIM.
Right.
So that brings down at least a little laughter when you're talking about things,
Of course.
Because I remember she said she put dropped $100 bill, and so the minister could see it floating down the thing, and she said at the end of the service, he said, I saw that benevolent lady drop that $100 in that plate, and she can have any hymn she wants. And she said, I want him, and especially you. So I had to separate HYMN with HIM and prostate with prostrate.
That's right.
You see,
that's right.
Once you get a laughter from people, that breaks. I don't care what people, how well they want to get the information out. They got to have a hook on it.
A hook to it.
The hook to it to make people say, hey, I want to do this, you know.
Right.
Yeah, this is not a serious
Well,
thing.
my hook to what I've done with my work as a humanitarian, because that's what I do, and everything I do for free.
Right.
I don't get paid to do this.
Right.
You know, it's all volunteer. It's all a part of my health humanitarian work that I do, and it's all free, Dr. Deas.
That's great.
You know, but you know, the BrownByrd Prostate Cancer Foundation, we live off of donations.
Right. Okay.
So if anybody wants to donate to us, we're on 30 Wall Street, 8th floor, New York, 10005. I'll plug that in again.
They'll put that in the thing.
I hope so, because we live on donations.
Yeah, right.
You know, and everything I do is all free. And my hook is I'm young, and I'm a young African American man. When I started doing prostate cancer, I was 23 years old when I started, and now I'm 33 now.
I thought you were 23.
No, I wish.
How come you're looking so healthy and everything?
Oh, wow.
You must be doing certain things to prevent these kind of things, because we still don't know what the prevention of it is.
Yes, definitely.
You know, and lifestyles has a lot to do with it, you know?
Yes.
Whether it's smoking,
Yes.
alcohol, all the wines,
Yes.
all these kind of things that we're taking into our bodies today, coffee houses, we don't even know what's that contributing, and things like this. So we're going to try to have to pinpoint sometime, say, look, if you do this, the percentage of chance of you getting this will be this. If you don't do that, just like cigarette smoking.
It's anything.
Anything,
Anything you do in health.
That's right.
And I was a former, I have my pin on today. You're wondering, for those who are wondering what this pin represents.
Right.
It represents, I'm a member of the 100 Black Men of Long Island.
Okay.
Part of the 100 Black Men of America.
I know the organization, okay.
Yeah, and I'm their former health and wellness chairman.
Oh, that's great.
Yes, so my job was to promote health and wellness to the Nassau and Suffolk County.
Right.
You know, to reach the millions of citizens. We did health fairs. We did a lot of different health events that really helped benefit the community and health at large.
Right.
And so I was really privileged not just to combat prostate cancer, but I was able to combat all areas of health.
Right.
And I also was honored, and this past last year, November the 7th, 2013, I was honored as the Healthcare Hero winner of 2013 by Long Island Business News.
Oh, that's great.
So I feel like with all my hard work and all the advocacy that I've been doing for prostate cancer and being a health and wellness chairman, I felt like it all paid off.
Oh, yeah.
Because finally I got recognized. I'm not doing this to get recognized.
Right.
But it helps when somebody in the community, especially when Caucasians honor you. It's a big deal for me.
Sure.
You know?
Oh, yeah.
It's not like just being honored by your own kind, but when you are being honored by people outside of your gender and nationality, it's like a big deal for me. You know.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Especially for us young black men. You know that.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So when this happened, I just felt like this was finally a plateau that God has given me to be able to spread my wings and fly just a little bit more in the community.
Yeah. Well, I think that...
And that's why I'm here today.
Yeah, well, this is why I invited you today. At Downstate Medical Center, we have a great urology department, and we have wonderful black urologists right here, and who are making inroads into this kind of thing. So I'm sure that we'll be able to, at one point or the other, introduce you to him even, and see how he takes what he can do to enlighten the people through you as such, you know. Because we all, when we do these kind of shows and things like this, as you say, we're trying to educate.
It's all about education.
It's about education.
Education.
And if you don't do it in the right way,
from the heart.
That's right, from the heart.
It's from the heart.
That's right.
It's all from the heart.
That's right.
You know, when you're doing it for fame or accolades, you're doing it for the wrong reasons.
Oh, yes.
You know, and if you're doing it from the heart, God opens up doors that are so beautiful. And I just got recently, I just got honored with a street naming in my honor.
Oh, okay.
Yes, for my foundation's work.
Well,
so I have a street named in my honor now in my hometown of Utica, New York. That was given to me in honor of all my work that I've done around the country. They have a street named in my honor called BrownByrd Lane.
Oh, that's great. Okay.
Yes. So that was given to me, and I became the first and the youngest African-American man to have his own street named after him.
Oh, that's great.
So with all these blessings, I say to myself, It's all because I said yes.
Well,
My grandfather died of prostate cancer. I didn't know what it was.
Right, yeah.
And I just said, yes, I'll go. I'll spread the awareness. I'll spread the message.
Right.
And 10 years later, it's been all over the country,
right,
my work, and I'm honored.
Well, I tell you, it's time to young people like yourself to get out on this road of educating.
Yes.
And because you got the energy and you're at a level where people are listening to you and you're bright and there's no reason for why these ministers shouldn't invite you to participate even in their church service. The church service. Because if you go to the church service and you got a confined audience and you can hand out your brochures at the end of that.
Sure.
But in this place, thing I have called Balm in Gilead, I send the churches 4 pieces a month, and they put it in their folder on Sunday morning. Different articles I write for the newspapers, like the Amsterdam News and things like this.
Right.
But we got to get you also to come down on do a story with you in the black papers that I write for, Amsterdam News, and so.
All you have to do is call me up.
All right, well, all you do is give me your card, and I'll certainly do that kind of thing.
Yes.
Now, in the future, have you any kind of new concepts that you want to present to the people?
Right now, I'm in the ranks of promoting, getting ready to gear myself up to go on another tour for September, which is September. For those who don't know, is National Prostate Cancer Awareness Month. So it's the month where we it's the month that we remember all the men around the world about this insidious disease and do many activities geared towards prostate cancer.
Right.
And we wait so long for this month to come. That's why I started the new Prostate Cancer Awareness Observance Day for February the 2nd, 2013.
Right.
Well, it started in February the 2nd, 2009, and now it's all February 2nd. Has now been proclaimed on behalf of 500 million citizens, and it's now a day that's been celebrated for the past 6 years, since 2009 all the way up to 2014 this year. So we're going on 6 years of celebrating a Prostate Cancer Awareness Observance Day in my foundation's honor. But we decided to come back and do this day early in the year so we can let people know we got to combat prostate cancer early in the year. Let's not wait all the way from January to September. Because every 19 minutes a man is diagnosed with prostate cancer.
Do you get any letters from people who have benefited from your...
I have. Yes, I have.
I'm talking about people who have said, gee, what you had to say rang a bell, and I went on and did this, and this, and I caught this early.
Yes, I have.
Yes.
I've even got a letter from Nancy Pelosi,
Speaker
of the House, and Queen Elizabeth. And His Holiness Pope Benedict.
I see.
The governor, and I've been blessed to have local letters from local citizens as well as major politicians and ambassadors and things like that around the world.
Right. Now, when you try to get your literature out there, you can do it with television like this,
of course,
but newspapers, radio, and things like this. Have you had much radio time with any of the black jockeys?
I've had a lot of radio time and with a lot of
like Byrd and all these kind of people.
I've had a lot of interviews with radio, television, and press, and we've been blessed to over 100 publications written about my foundation's work. I've been broadcasted on so many different TV and radio shows. It's gone all over the country, but every time I get a chance to talk about it, it's like for the first time. I always make it feel like it's brand new. It's a brand new time because I'm always privileged and blessed anytime I get the opportunity to share my work.
Well, Kevin, listen, it's been a pleasure. Of course, time is our enemy, but at the same time, cancer is an enemy also, and it's important that you've been here today to give this information out because we have broadcast all over the place, Harlem, New York, Brooklyn, Queens, Cableton, and Warner, all this kind of thing. Yeah, right. So basically, I'm sure with your number that they can get in touch with you, which we can present at the end of the program, that we can make a difference. And I'm just so glad to see young African Americans like yourself thinking about health because health is our number one enemy. Sorry, and I know that it's hard to get it out to the people. It's hard to make a stab at this, but you did it with your foundation, and I hope others will start making that same thing. We have just another minute. Is there anything you'd like to leave with us?
Yes, I would like to just say to the readers, listeners, not readers, listeners and people who are watching right now, my name is Kevin Byrd. The name of my foundation is called the BrownByrd Prostate Cancer Foundation. We're located at 30 Wall Street, 8th floor, New York, 10005. The contact number is 212-709-8335. And my website is www.kevbyrd.com. And please help out, send donations to us, write to me, call us, and just continue to help us spread the awareness of prostate cancer, not just locally, but around the globe, internationally. God bless you.
Good. Okay, Kevin. It's been nice having you with us today.
Thank you.
I hope this brings a whole lot of people calling you up.
I hope so.
Right. That's wonderful.